欢迎大家来到我的频道。看影片之前，记得帮我订阅、subscribe 我的 YouTube channel， 还有记得给我小铃铛，还有你的 like，OK？、然后我们今天来到 Proton e.MAS.7 如果买车也可以找我啦。现在我们来看看，来了解 Proton e.MAS.7 是怎样的。再 Let's go。
Basically, what we do is we are going around the entirety of Malaysia, both Peninsular and also Sabah and Sarawak, to present to you and to show you our new car, and to show that this car can actually go all around Malaysia, right? Not just what people think in Kuala Lumpur or in big cities like actually here like 𝗩𝗶𝗺𝗲 or Penang, but we can also bring the car to the East Coast, to Kelantan, to Terengganu, and even to East Malaysia, alright? So what we're going to do today is, Eugene is here to join me, and we're going to start off the session by asking a little bit of myths, and then we're going to tell you a bit about the 𝗓𝗡, maybe sales team. Let me introduce to you Kelvin from sales, right? I'm going to call him up and he's going to give you some words after our presentation, right? If you have anything to say. Okay, then we will unveil the car and then you are free to have a look, okay? And while you're looking at the car, if you have any questions, there will be me and also my teammate here, this is 𝗓𝗂𝗧, right? 𝗓𝗂𝗧 is also another product specialist, and we'll be here to answer any questions that you have about the car so that you can get to know the car as well as possible, okay? So we'll jump straight into it. Okay, we have the first myth. So when it comes to EVs, right, there are a lot of misconceptions that people have, right? Because like last time, maybe a long time ago, the first EVs that were created wasn't up to what people wanted in their lives, okay? But nowadays, EVs have gotten so advanced. If you look at the 𝗓𝗏7 now, in terms of C-segment cars, it is so much value for what you're paying compared to other C-segment SUVs. So we are hoping to bring you the same experience with this car, the 𝗓𝗏5. Alright, so what's the first myth? The first myth is EVs take too long to charge. Is it true or is it not true? Next. Well, last time maybe, when EVs only could be charged from our house, so that's level 1, right? So that can take, up to 20 plus hours to fully charge an EV. But now, what we have is AC and DC charging. Even AC charging from your house takes about 6 hours, even for this car. And we give all our customers a free wall box to install at home, right? And for DC charging, nowadays it's just 20 minutes from 30 to 80%. Very fast. So like for us, just now we drove from KL all the way here to Johor, and it still only took us about 4 hours. Not because the cars were slow, we took too long to charge, was because the traffic was really bad because there was an accident on the road. But other than that, the short break that we had was enough to let us go to the toilet and even get some coffee, which we'll talk about in a bit next. Alright, so as I mentioned just now, EV is now 30 to 80, the 𝗓𝗏7, in 21 minutes, okay? And it can recover up to 160 kilometers of range in 21 minutes, okay? Next. Alright, so as I was mentioning just now about taking a break, do you know that most drivers need to take about 15 to 30 minutes break after every 2 hours of driving? So if you're driving more than 2 hours, it's actually dangerous because you start to feel a bit tired, your back starts to get strained, and then you start to lose focus on the road. So after 2 hours of driving, it's good to take a short break, go have a coffee, go for a toilet break, stretch your limbs, and in that time, it's enough for you to charge all the way to 80%. Isn't that great? Alright? And we'll go to the second myth, right? Which is EVs can't travel long distance. So for this question, I'd like to invite Eugene here to join me in answering this question. Eugene, have you ever driven an EV long distance before?
So I think we've started getting EVs in Malaysia since maybe 2 years ago. My first EV road trip was actually in the Volvo C40, the SUV coupe. So we did from KL to Penang without charging. Managed to make it, but 1 year later, 18 months later, after doing more road trips with EVs, started noticing one thing very obvious: there are more and more chargers. From the first time I did my EV road trip in 2022 to early this year, a lot more chargers. You open the app, so many different locations, much more. So I think that really helps with stations, especially EVs.
exactly what you said. We don't really need EVs to have 700-800 kilometers of range, you know. That maybe will make us feel safer, but actually in reality, even our petrol cars can't travel that far, okay, on a single petrol tank. And if you see from statistics, right, we have already more than 4,000 chargers in Malaysia, right? And the good news is, if you go to the next 2 slides, one more, right? Of all those chargers, 90% of those chargers are already in our system. And what does that mean? It means from your car, either the e.MAS.7 or the e.MAS.5, right? You can go to the map and you can see 90% of Malaysia's chargers live. So you can see whether anyone is using it, whether it's available, whether it's offline, and then if no one's there, then you can go. That's very convenient. And on top of that, if you go to the next slide, you can actually use our e.MAS app to search, start charging, and pay for your charging, right? And that is something that has never been done before in our country. Why is that? If you ask most of the EV owners since 2021, 2022, they'll tell you that their phone, right, just like I do, you see, we all have a little drawer that has about 10 charging apps inside. And I used to have to use all these 10 charging apps also, and sometimes the complication is I have to search one by one app. Oh, 𝗩𝗲𝗃𝗂𝗲, okay, don't have. What about 𝗪𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃? Okay, don't have. Oh, go to you. Oh, there's one over here. But for us, in our e.MAS app, one app, you can see all of these chargers and you can go there, right? So it's very, very convenient. Actually, if you download the e.MAS app now, you can already start seeing the locations so that you can experience that for yourself and understand also what is it that actually we have done with this ecosystem, right? So, Eugene, are EVs expensive to maintain?
It's a bit hard to say because I don't own an EV, I don't maintain an EV yet, but just based on the information that I have gotten from Proton, there is far less components to maintain. And the stuff that you constantly need to change compared to a car is a lot less. So what you have to change is perhaps the cooling fluids, the radiator fluids, maybe the transmission gear fluid, but everything else is a lot lesser to maintain. Yeah, and I have looked at the cost of maintenance, the graph, compared to an ICE and EV, there is actually a lot less things to pay for, right? And then secondly, when you look at the cost, it's actually very similar to a car that costs around 100,000. 200, 91, 389, 121, 700. If you look at these figures, you compare it with like X50, X70, maybe a C segment, Toyota, Honda, it's about the same actually. And as you can see, these are the things that you will have to change. That's all.
Yeah, so actually if you calculate, right, over 5 years it's only 1,500 ringgit. That's even cheaper than maintaining a 𝗲𝗍, a car that is half the cost, right? Usually a car that costs half the price should be half cheaper than a car that costs this price. But in actual fact, this car is actually cheaper to even maintain compared to a 𝗲𝗍, right? So that's amazing, okay? And then the last very controversial myth that people always believe is that EVs are prone to catching fire. Are they really prone to catching fire? Well, statistics will tell you no, right? For every 100,000 fires, right, vehicle fires that we have, only 25 are EVs. And in a lot of cases, other causes instead of itself. But for petrol cars, right, it's overheating issues or something in the engine compartment that caught fire that has caused a chain reaction. But EVs very, very rarely will catch fire because nowadays battery technology has gotten to the level that even inside the battery pack we have extinguishing material to prevent fire and thermal runaways. Okay? So let us talk to you about the e.MAS.5, okay? Something that you all came here to see for yourself. And in this category of cars, today we have 10 only in class and 10 best in class features. So what are they, right? So for the 10 only in class features, we have stuff like crystal gear selector, two-tone steering. This is design aesthetics. But my favorite part, right, is that it comes with, right, a rear view drive. So for all of you that don't know what this means, right, is that the motor is placed at the back of the car. And this is actually the only Proton car right now that comes with rear-wheel drive. All of the other cars come with front-wheel drive. So there's something very special about the 𝗂𝗚.5. And on top of that, usually if you see hatchback cars like that, it comes with torsion beam. That means the suspension behind is just one bar across, and the tires have to like tip every time it goes over a bar. But this car comes with multi-link suspension, so each tire is independent. Gives you a much smoother and comfortable ride. Okay? And in EVs nowadays, right, not all EVs have fronts, but our 𝗂𝗚.5 comes with a huge 70-litre front that you can see for yourself today. Next. Right? Eugene, you want to tell us about the 10 best in-class features?
Okay. So this 𝗂𝗚.5, right, compared to the 𝗂𝗚.7, is a much more compact car. A compact car that they encourage you to use in city centres, in urban areas, places with tight roads. And personally, I think what Malaysians will like, or what you guys will like if you buy it, is the small turning radius. We like to always out of nowhere, suddenly people make one U-turn, suddenly car park, not enough space, we just make one U-turn to come out. This 4.95 meter turning radius actually makes a big difference. Once the car is launched, if you get a chance, I highly recommend just go out there and just try to make a U-turn. Very different because the turning is so small, you will never have to do a 3-point turn. Secondly, the other thing that I find to be quite assuring is this. 36.9 meters braking distance. So, recently I went to Germany to test drive new Continental tires. So they tested the tire on a big Audi SUV, very heavy, on a wet surface, and these are good Continental tires. The braking distance was, I think, about 35 meters, 34 meters. So the fact that this car can brake with this kind of braking performance and this kind of distance, I think it makes you, it's very assuring. It makes you feel like, okay, if I ever need to jam brake, suddenly the car in front of me jam brake, this distance is actually like a very, very safe distance. The other thing is, what is it? This. I see a lot of female attendants sitting in attendance here with a lot of bags. Now, in my car, just outside, you can see a lot of things in the car. Shoes, bags, pouch, laptop bag. I really like this particularly, this storage. It's very, very useful, and I think for females, scared people smash your window at the traffic light, take your handbag, this is actually a very safe place to keep your bags. And then they also have this under seat storage, 28 liters. That's actually a lot. You can keep a backpack underneath it. So aside from the boot, which, you know, there's enough space, aside from this, you also have this 70-liter front, which is a boot in the front, because now you don't have an engine, right? It's an EV, right? So you have a 70-liter front at the front. And it's big. You have to check it out for yourself. It's big. You can put at least, I think, a backpack and a half. And I think it's something that you will find very, very useful. And EVs under 100,000, or actually no, cars under 100,000 don't have this feature. You can look at, I think, the Dato, you can look at the MG S5, they don't have this feature. I think it's very, very useful. Some might say, oh, the boot is enough, you have already storage here, and all, but trust me, once you have this, you will use it very often.
Yeah, especially for, you know, families, when your kids just finish their sports day and they change their clothes very smelly. For SUV and all this, in the back, the smell will come to the front. Even if you put your 𝗓𝗲, for example, have you ever carried 𝗓𝗲 in your car and for weeks after that the smell is just lingering inside your cabin? So we have a front now, and when you put all of this in the front, the smell will travel into the back of the car. So that's one of the best advantages for me, right? So that is all that we have to share today about 𝗂𝗚.5, because I think words can only bring you so far. But before we unveil the 𝗂𝗚.5 to you today, I'd like to invite Kelvin just to say a few words to you all, right? And then would you lead us in unveiling the car after this?
Okay, first of all, I'm Kelvin from HQ ProNet. So I think first of all, thank you David for comprehensive and sharing about our upcoming superstar, 𝗂𝗚.5. And I think what I want to say here is you guys are here today at AG of the World. You guys will probably feel that, you know, AG Automotive is a very good dealer. So I can tell you here, from January until August, AG has been one of our top dealers nationwide. So they are our top dealers. So do not have to worry when you buy a car from them, because I believe the sales team and the after sales teams are well equipped, to serve you and all your inquiries about the upcoming EVs. Okay, so with that, I don't want to further prolong this whole thing. So maybe just try to do the unveiling now.
Are you ready to see the e.MAS 5? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's get onto our feet as we get ready to approach the car. Okay?
Maybe get a countdown. Yeah.
Are you ready? We're gonna count down and we're gonna unveil the car together, right? In 3. Oh, wait 1 minute. Very special thing. In 3, 2, 1. Let's see the e.MAS 5. The key. Alright, let's get the car unlocked. And ladies and gentlemen, feel free to come and have a look at the car. The car is not unlocked. Okay, just please do know that when finishing the car is still prototype, so there are still a few things that are being finalized. But don't be shy. The car is now open for all of you to have a look.
那这辆 e.MAS 5你们等到现在都出来了，它的空间是蛮大的，跟 X50差不多。它的后面的空间呢就是这么大。这辆的 e.MAS 5它的内饰空间就是这样哦，它打压柄在这边，新的还是一样啦，新的还是在这边打灯、auto 灯，有自动高灯，应该是没有自动高灯，有自动高灯，然后 wiper 在这边有 auto wiper， 然后还有自动辅助下值，就是 ICC， 还有它的压柄在这边，跟 EMAS 一样，然后它的空间是比 S50 差不多啦，它这边下面呢比 S50 还大，可以放更多东西，可以放书包啊，什么都可以，不书包背小背，然后它的空间呢就是看到吗，麦特妹啊，然后它空没有怀疑到你是不小心拍到哦，它的空间就是这么大了，它跟 S50 是差不多啦，这样看是差不多啦，它空间它一直是跟我们的家里的沙发一样舒服咯，就是你可以买一辆车买这辆车就来驾驶蛮舒服一下的。那空间呢，跟 S50 一样大，可是它是伸下去的，看到没？然后它的中间的 screen 呢是14.3寸，跟现在 e.MAS 一样。然后它的 meter 表是8寸，就跟现在 e.MAS 一样，可是它底载不一样，它现在底载有点不一样，而且 OK， 它现在还是用这16寸的胎压，205/60/16用玲珑的胎压，这个胎压是听说很静啊，而且又comfort的胎压，比较蛮舒服一下的。那重点来了，你们是不是想要知道它是Debunking还是Unveiling？肯定就是Unveiling，而且是后轮驱动哦，听好哦，后轮驱动哦。它跟 e.MAS.7 呢 ，e.MAS.7 前面是那个𝗩𝗶𝗺𝗲，这个前面是放一些 bag 啊，放一些重要文件都可以在那边放住。现在我是看后面的座位，前面是那个坐姿，它有一个拳头多，它们的空间蛮大，然后头部空间呢，一个拳头多也是很宽，它不会掀背到完，然后会有压缩那种压迫感。前面是用Proton，后面是用Unveiling，就是多连杆。很多人来看车啊，这空给你们看的，就点示这么多啊，等到时候它公布价钱了，我会通知你们。这个牌子的销售全部是这个。会加吗？会加吗？可以啦。拜拜，拜拜。Have a nice day。嘿。 Hey, goodbye. Bye. Bye bye. Bye. 忘记做总了，我就回到家，回到这边了，回来做工地方。总结就是讲，𝗎𝗚是很值得买，不用去想买就这样，只要Booking找我，电话号码在下面联络，可以联系我。Goodbye 大家，记得订阅、subscribe， 按小铃铛，叮咚叮咚，拜拜。